Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome to the Shanghai International Circuit in China. So we're getting set for race number 5 of the 4th season of the NR2003 Red Bull GT Series. Yes, we're getting races every 2 weeks from often until we get to South America, until we get to the European portion of our world tour. But we're ready for our first ever race in China. We've never raced in China before, so this is a first for everything, which we're going to do it for 11 laps. Even though 11 laps seems like a short race, it's a 3.38-mile circuit, so it will take a long time for these drivers to complete one lap around this track. Emma Kaiser sits on the pole position, as this is, I believe, Kaiser's first pole of the season, if I'm not mistaken. But Kaiser's had anything but a stellar season, 33rd in the points, currently 1 point above the 35th in the standings cut line as far as being locked in the show. So she really needs a good run here today, alongside another gal up there, 22nd in the points. That would be J Ard, the veteran driver. Bradley Reim, who gained a spot up to third in the standings after he lost the points lead a couple of weeks ago. As he's starting third, and he is alongside of Sarah Redmond, who dropped 2 spots down to 7th in points after a poor finish 2 weeks ago at the Twin Ring Motegi circuit in Japan. So these are the points as we enter the race here. Jarrett Johnson took the points lead, as he, by the way, won at Motegi 2 weeks ago. He is the points leader by 9 points over Cody Goforth. Bradley Reim, our season opener winner from Coca-Cola, he's third in the standings. The 77 of Johann Schmidt, he is currently fourth in the standings. I want to make sure I didn't in the 77, yep, Johann Schmidt, I was correct. He's also the rookie points leader, by the way. Alexander Underwood is fifth. Lucian Bianchi is sixth. He's second to the rookie of the year standings. Sarah Redmond dropped 2 spots, as I mentioned, 7th in the standings. Vanko Seaman lost the rookie points lead. He dropped 6 spots down to 8th in the standings. Reggie Fogleman 9th, and D Monroe gained 5 spots up to 10th in the standings. As we're going to go ahead and get these cars moving. First of all, let me show you the rest of the lineup. Sam Tenley did not set a time in qualifying. Apparently, he had some mechanical problems and couldn't set a time. And there is the rest of the field there. Don't know what kind of racing we're going to see here, as J Ard just ran wide, and we are already green here at China. Well, what do you know? So it's lights on, away we go. It's a great start for Kaiser, as she will lead us into turn number 1. Bradley Reim second. J Ard was not ready for that green flag, as she dropped all the way down to third. I bet the entire field was not ready for the green flag. I can tell you that for certainty. Everybody did take the start. Just when they get off the last corner, boom, Kaiser was ready to mash the throttle, and good for her. Kaiser going in this left-hander here. Like I said, 11 laps doesn't seem like a long race, but considering this is a 3.38-mile circuit, it will take these drivers a long time to get around this track. And no, there are no penalties for track limit warnings, just so we're clear on that. Cautions are turned on just in case. Lizette Armstrong back there in the 42nd position, as Kaiser leads us down, heading to the long kilometer straightaway. Already at high gear. There you see the rest of the field trying to get through, as we're in the Toyota hairpin. And Kaiser will lead the first lap here at the Shanghai International Circuit. Awkward where the pace car is. And we got problems already. Uh-oh. Is that a safety car? No, it's not. Look at where the pace car is. Right by the pit lane. That's a weird way to have the pace car right there. Lizette Armstrong had trouble. And we are still clean and green as a result. Looks like, yeah, the two's already in last place. There's Sam Tenley. Of course, he made the show this week. Henrietta Fitzwater, who just got back into the top 35. I dropped something on the deal there. Could be in danger of falling out of the top 35. Of course, I have everything on 107. There's a couple of people running well in points. Cody Goforth, second in points, all the way back in 36. That is definitely not where he needs to be. Lucian Bianchi, second in the Rookie of the Year standings, also back here at the rear of the field. He is another driver that was running well in the point standings. That's Johan Smith, as he's battling Sebastian Palmer in the 3. Palmer raced his way into this event via the Go or Go Home session. Same with Eric Alpha, Campbell Marshall. There's Kaiser running very well in the points. Jonathan Wong just ran a bit wide and got in the grass. Who is that was just off in the gravel trap? I don't know who it was. Let's find our points leader. Find Jared Johnson in the 4. He comes in this race as the points leader. He's all the way back in 26. So a lot of drivers running well in points. Bradley Ream right now in second. So according to my live points, Bradley Ream would look like he would retake the points lead back heading into our next race in 2 weeks. Yes, another race in 2 weeks. As we're going to go from the Shanghai International Circuit to one of Zachary Fitzwater's favorite tracks, Pukekohe, in 2 weeks. We'll have Go or Go Home qualifying at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then our 6th race from New Zealand. And you are definitely going to love Pukekohe because that track is an easy name for me to pronounce, unlike Seth Cole, who doesn't pronounce things correctly, just saying. So the schedule will go like this. New Zealand, then another 2 weeks, and then we go back to back to back races at Sweden, the United Kingdom, which will be in the St. Davis Circuit in Wales, and then we are heading to France. Do we have a caution? No, we do not. I think I have cautions turned on. Let me double check. Yeah, I do. Okay. I do. Okay. Just checking. I can tell you, Shanghai could also play a part in shaking the points up completely. There's the pace car. Probably having some Chinese food, maybe like sweet and sour chicken, pork, dumplings. J Ard now in 3rd. Sarah Redmond in 4th. Josh Harmon is 5th. Reagan Whitlock 6th. Ricky Cervantes 7th. K Langeland H. Has Farmer 9th. And I think that's is it John Schmidt in the 70, or no, it's Jogan Schmidt. Jogan Smith. Okay, I need to make sure I'm not derping. There's a lot of Schmidts and Smith, if you ask me. So, Jogan Schmidt is completing the top 10. Addison Peterson running in 11th. There's John Smith the 4th. He's running in 12th. And he's another one of those drivers in danger of falling out of the top 35. So a lot of drivers who are struggling in the points table, having great runs, and a lot of drivers, with the exception of Bradley Reim, who came in running well in points, having dismal runs so far. And I can tell you, Shanghai, China really played its part in shaking the points up, and we're going to have a nice little shake-up in the points heading into Pukekohe in 2 weeks' time. Of course, this being on May 12th, as we will go ahead and tell you what we got coming up this week for series-wise. We have the Oreo Cup Series race coming your way from Gateway Motorsports Park, just right by St. Louis, Missouri. That will be a 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And there are no go-or-go-homers. No go-or-go-home qualifying, but that will be where we're going to be at next, as they are in the middle of the chase to the chase for the championship. They're getting closer to their playoffs, by the way. And then we're back to Talladega Superspeedway. The trucks are off. They just ran at Las Vegas last weekend. It will be Busch and Winston Cup Series coming your way from the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway. Next week, it will be the Oreo Cup Series from Chicagoland, followed by Busch and Winston Cup coming your way from Michigan before the following week. Before the following race. So I'm going to actually take a look. Give me a second. And then during the Red Bull GT Series, so I actually need to see what day the 30th is on. Okay, never mind. So in 2 weeks, we're heading to New Zealand. So, yeah, that is on the 26th. So that'll be after we have Busch and Winston Cup and Oreo. And, of course, that week we have the Oreo Cup Series at Papyrus. And then we have just the Winston Cup Series, as we have All-Star Race Weekend coming your way from Charlotte. Then we'll take another week off after Pukekohe to head over to the European portion, as we're just past the halfway point of this race. Still no cautions. Cannot believe we've yet to have a caution in this race. There's going to be a lot of drivers who's going to be out of the top 35 leaving today. Because we're going to head over to, as I said, Sweden, which is the round of Sweden, at Gothenburg, Sweden. That'll be when Chloe Eriksson will be driving the pace car with her brother Ben. And then, of course, we'll have the United Kingdom, which will be, by the way, the St. Davis circuit in Wales. And then we'll be at France. That will wrap up the European portion of the race weekend, which, by the way, will be 3 races back to back to back. And then we will head to the Emerson Fittipaldi Speedway in Rio de Janeiro, then head over to Argentina for the very first time, which we're going to run the oval track, the Autodromo Ernesto Nunez, which, if you don't know what track that is a flat version of Martinsville. And it was home of the TM Master Cup Series round of Argentina back in 2014, even though they did it like 4 years ago, or whatever. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then we will cap it, and then we'll cap off with I think we go to Mexico. Let me actually look at the schedule here. By the way, Kaiser's led the most laps, just so you know. Actually, Mexico will wrap up the World Tour. So I have a couple of more off breaks as far as that is concerned. So it should be a lot of fun. Looking forward to the rest of the races got coming up on the channel. Of course, with the Red Bull GT Series fourth season underway, we'll be right now beginning the playoffs, or in the Winston Cup Series and all the other series, the chase to the chase for the championship. Looking forward to that. Emma Kaiser. Nobody's even touched her. She led from pole. She's already got bonus points for leading a lap and leading the most laps. And she's been our only leader today. And like I said, this is a driver who really needs a good run, because she is flirting with the endangerment of falling outside the top 35. Well, remember, Timo Mauser failed to qualify, and he's outside the top 35, and Kaiser doesn't want to join him. So really important for Emma Kaiser to win this race. And if she can win it, that will be huge momentum for her. And this will also get her away from 35th in the position in the points. This race has been kind of... Josh Harmon running in 5th. Good run for Josh Harmon. I need to actually go back and get to the points. I will look at what Sean needs in my DM in just a minute, because I actually have to get ready to leave to go back to work to go get my green cup. Yes, I just got home from work only to find out, oh no, I didn't have my green cup with me. So Kaiser came as race 33rd in the points, so this is going to get her away from 35th in the standings. Bradley Reim, we can is certain he will take the points lead back heading into next week's race. Sarah Redmond came into this race, looking at the points here, 7th in points, so nice bounce back run for her. Josh Harmon, who's running in 5th, he came into this race 30th in points. He dropped 7 spots after the race 2 weeks ago at Motegi. And he was a total of 9 points ahead of 35th in the standings, so he was also another driver who needed a good run to get away from that. Reagan Whitlock, who raced his way into this race via the Go or Go Home qualifying session earlier today, 42nd in points. He's running in 6th, so he's having a solid run. Question is, will this get him out of trying to have to qualify his way into our next race in 2 weeks at Pukekohe? We'll have to see. Ricky Cervantes dropped 7 spots to 16th in the points. Nice bounce back run. Kyle Langeland, 19th in the points. This will get him further up through the points table. And then the 77 of Jochen Schmidt, who, by the way, was the rookie points leader coming into this race. Not only he's having a solid run, this could also keep him inside the top 10 of the points, and he would also keep the rookie points lead heading into our next race in 2 weeks. Because the guy who was trying to run him down for the rookie points lead, Lucian Bianchi, is 36. He was 2nd in the rookie year standings. Well, actually, what was the gap between Schmidt and Redmond? It was 12 points. So it looks like Sarah Redmond would actually gain some points on Schmidt. So Sarah Redmond would be second in the Rookie of the Year standings as far as that is concerned. And Vanko Seaman is running in 14th, so he's having an okay run. Didn't have the best runs at Motegi. As Emma Kaiser, who's really been leading in this kind of lackluster race. I can definitely tell you we are definitely not coming back to Shanghai if there is a season 5 of this series, just an FYI. Because I haven't seen any passing. Well, I've seen some passing. Oh, somebody kicked up some dust there. Don't know who that was. Reggie Fogleman's really going to take a hit in the standings. Keep this in mind. Reggie Fogleman in the Oreo Cup Series is trying his best to get in the top 30 in the points to have his win count for a spot into the playoffs. It's got more dust kicked up. Alonso Albin is not having a solid run. J Ard running in 15th. Hey, at least the 6 is not cursed this time around. Addison Peterson's also continuing to pull away from 35th in the standings. As we are down to 2 laps of racing to go, as Emma Kaiser has been dominating this race in a kind of a board fest caution-free race, which I had cautions turned on, so not thrilled about that. So as Kaiser will be getting closer to the white flag, let's remind everybody this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association and the Blue Hedgehog TV for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmission or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the World Racing Association and the Blue Hedgehog TV is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV want to thank you fans for your support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. As yes, my Wi-Fi is flickering on and off. It's like, unless it got moved. If it got moved, hooray. I'm glad it got moved. It's like going to 1 bar, then 2, then 1 to 2, 1 to 2. Yeah, it's like on and on and on. I don't want to really do that. I'm probably thinking Andrew must have moved the Wi-Fi about now, but that's another story to tell. As Kaiser will now receive the white flag here. Of course, everybody can make it 11 laps on fuel deal. Let me actually look and see how far these drivers can go on a fuel run. 29 laps, okay. White flag is out one more time around Shanghai for Kaiser. Try to remember when was Kaiser's last win in the GT series. I want to say season 3, but I could be wrong. Don't think she took part. I'm actually looking. Nope. Kaiser did not find victory lane last season. Finished that season 21st in the points. Did not find victory lane. This is actually the most laps she's led than what she led all of season 3, believe it or not. And then in season 2, Trying to see where she was in. Did she find Victory Lane in season 2? As I'm looking here, I'm trying to make sure. Kaiser did have a win in season 2. That was her only win in the GT series to date. That was back in season 2. This will be her second career win, her first of season 4. Emma Kaiser wins the inaugural race at China. And while we're on that subject, let's actually find out what race it was in season 2. So we can have that answer for y'all. So first win for Emma Kaiser since season 2, believe it or not. I'm trying to remember what race Kaiser went to Victory Lane. It was not that race. It wasn't that race. Trying to remember when was Kaiser's win. Can't remember. I will definitely look it up and see when was Kaiser's last win in the GT series. But she had gone a very long dry spell. I will look it up. But nevertheless, for Emma Kaiser, her second career Red Bull GT Series win, first of the year. Bradley Ream second. J Ard, Sarah Redmond, Josh Harmon, Regan Whitlock, Ricky Cervantes, Kyle Langeland, Chaz Farmer, and Johan Schmidt, the top 10. We basically gave you the top 10. Good run for a lot of people who are right near that 35th in the standings cut line. As you look on down to the rest of the finishing results, a lot of drivers who are running well in points are going to really take some hits. Henrietta Fitzwater, this could put her out of the top 35. She just got in the top 35 last time out. She will more than likely fall back out of the top 35. Jared Johnson, the points leader, 28th, excuse me. He was your points leader coming into this race. Cody Goforth, 37th, came in this race second in points. So a lot of, as we just had a scrape in the wall, but that's okay. So a lot of drivers who were running well in points are really going to suffer. And Bradley Ream, by finishing second and beating Jared Johnson convincingly, he will take the points lead heading into our next race in 2 weeks at Pukekohe. Hope you will join us for that. But that's going to do it from here at Shanghai. Kind of a race, but you know what? I can't do anything about it as far as that is concerned. But you definitely want to tune into our next race in 2 weeks at Pukekohe. It should be a blast as far as that is concerned. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race from Shanghai, which could have been better. But if you still enjoyed it, nevertheless, be sure to give this video a like. Subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We've shown your full finisher results, your point standings, which is going to take a massive shakeup in the standings, is going to be down in the description heading into our next race. That is, as I said, in 2 weeks, as we head to none other than Pukekohe Raceway. We still have to finish up this race weekend. We're back in the States to Gateway Motorsports Park, where the Oreo Cup Series continue their chase to the chase at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Then we have Busch and Winston Cup Series coming your way from the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway. That is this week. Next week, it'll be Oreo Cup Series racing from Chicagoland, and then Busch and Winston Cup Series, as Winston Cup will finish up their first half of the regular season from the Irish Hills of Michigan, before we will see this series back getting ready for Pukekohe, then the Oreo Cup Series race at Papyrus, and then All-Star Race Weekend for Winston Cup. Hope you'll join us for all the racing we got coming up on the channel. Until then, I've been Daniel Voles, the Blue Hedgehog, signing off. Tai Chin from Shanghai, as you've been watching another broadcast of the World Racing Association, the greatest racing since 2013.